Welcome to the Ranchonomics Podcast, where we empower you to build a better ranch and transform your operations into a thriving business. I'm your host, John Haskell. Let's get started. Nick, welcome to the Ranchonomics Podcast. We are going to talk about LandTrust today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. Well, thank you for joining us. Give us a bit of a description about what LandTrust is and why it exists. We talked in an episode kind of about your background. And if anybody missed that episode, I hope you will tune back into that. Nick's got a really cool background in different parts of business. But I want to talk specifically about LandTrust and what makes it work, what makes it tick, why it exists, et cetera. So hit us.
Yeah. The kind of long version is LandTrust is a land sharing marketplace for outdoor recreation. A lot of people think about us like Airbnb or VRBO, but for hunting, fishing, camping, all sorts of fun stuff on private land. We're a two-sided marketplace. So on the one side, we have our landowners. Most of our landowners are owner-operator, multi-generation, production ag. So family farms and ranches. We have about 1.5 million acres in 44 states of landowners that partner with us. And they partner with us to generate additional income from allowing access to their land on a do-it-yourself basis to people who like to hunt or fish or camp or bird watch or take photos, whatever it is, right? There's a lot of people who love the outdoors and different pursuits, and they just want access to land to go and do those things. So on the other side of our marketplace is the people, I was on that side. So when I started this company, I was living in Bozeman, and there's a ton of public land in the West and in Montana and Colorado where I lived before. But I just found myself looking at all the beautiful ranches and farms in and around town and said, well, I'd love to be able to go out there for a day or two to go hunt or fish or whatever. And I'd be willing to pay for it. There's just no easy way to do it. Door knocking, kind of a crappy experience on both sides.
Of all people to describe that as a crappy experience, it's hilarious to me that you find it that way too. But,
yeah, it's just uncomfortable. Like I said, it's you both know why you're there. You're interrupting the landowner's day. You're dancing around what you really want, which is, hey, let me go out and use something of yours for free. It's just uncomfortable. So I didn't start it right away. That was 2016 when I moved to Bozeman. I didn't say, you know what, I got to do this until 2019. So I just crossed 6 years, July 1st, building the business. Yeah.
Awesome. With LandTrust, let's talk about a few things. One, why would a landowner participate? You explained from your own case of why a hunter would participate. Let's talk about why a landowner would participate. What are the benefits to the landowner and what makes that successful for the landowner?
Yeah, we talk to our landowners. Again, a majority of them are owner-operator production ag, so they're farmers and ranchers. They just say, hey, you have this asset that sits underneath your feet every day, that there's people who would love to pay you for access to it. The DIY, the do-it-yourself, it's not guided. It's not, you don't have to do anything. You just say yes, basically, and you get paid to do that. Very symbiotic. We know that agricultural operations, like ag is the thing. It's the number one thing. But the byproduct of agriculture is habitat, wildlife, and food for wildlife. And so, and in the West, you have deer and elk and upland birds. In the Midwest and the South, you got deer and turkeys and bass ponds and all these things. So you have these these recreational resources that generally speaking are pretty much unused all the time. So why not monetize those recreational resources that your land has as a byproduct to your ag operation? We know that farmers and ranchers are super busy people. They want to focus on ag, but yes, they need to find these other income streams too. So we try to be the best symbiotic, low-touch income stream where the dollar per hour from LandTrust should beat out pretty much everything else you do. There's a lot of, especially in the Midwest, you look at farm operations, they're like, oh, unproductive ground. Unproductive ground is our ground. Like if you're to look at a profit map, that, 10 acres of timber, it probably makes more dollars per acre than everything else. And so that's the way I think our landowners should think about it is it's an instant digital business you can turn on overnight. You are partners with us. You don't pay us to list. We're business partners. We make money at the same time. So LandTrust makes a commission on bookings. So say you got a section of land and you've got upland birds out there. You can list upland bird hunting on LandTrust. And if someone comes and makes a booking, they say, hey, for $300, I want to come out for Friday and Saturday and run my bird dog out there. Great. We make a 20% commission on that booking. You get 80%. We do liability insurance. We do ID verification. Everything's paid with credit card, online, direct deposit, property protection, hold harmless, all of it, right? So we make it extremely safe I always say to our landowners, if you've had anyone who's not your immediate family member out on your place recently, you are more exposed to liability by doing that than you are through having somebody out through LandTrust.
Cool. And we've had Taylor on. Taylor Moyer's been on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, Taylor.
Before. And Taylor represents an interesting group of people that we have a number of customers that work with you guys and work with us. And I think we see that there can be some real symbiotic relationships. Most of the people we work with are trying to increase their profitability. They're not necessarily trying to increase the complexity or the daily difficulty of their business, but that's where you guys step in perfectly. Dave Pratt in Ranching for Profit used to always talk about the ability to concessionize different layers of value, and you guys provide this incredibly easy tool to be able to do that, right? And the cool thing about you guys, I think, with a number of the customers we work with in different parts of the country is you've gone way beyond hunting. Hunting is where you started. Hunting is where a lot of interest is. But the ability just for people to go camping or to go ride their bikes or to do
fish a farm pond or, park a camper and just, have a little place to themselves.
Yeah. And you guys see significant amount of traffic around those types of activities also, correct?
Yeah, we're growing them for sure. And that's our job as a business partner. Again, you guys own the asset, the landowners own the asset. We partner to build the technology and then market to the demand, right? So that's our job to go continue to develop new verticals of demand. We're starting a partnership right now with some folks in kind of like the, those adventure vans that people are building.
Oh, yeah.
Spend like $100,000 on a van and
I have
overlanding, all that.
Drive by my house every day on their way to the Bighorns in the summer. Yes.
Yeah. So by the way, that's money driving by you. They'll spend, $200,000 on these things. And they're just looking for a place to go out and set up their rig and be all by themselves and look at the sky or fish or ride a bike or whatever, right? So we're starting to, do some partnerships in that area to start connecting those types of people with our landowners because they're totally self-contained. It's not like an RV or motorhome where they need hookups. They specifically are completely self-contained. So why not? Every single one of our landowners can have someone who's totally self-contained out on their land. And so they don't have to say yes. If, that's the other thing with LandTrust. You're totally in control. You choose whatever you want to offer for however much, for whenever it's your land, your control. But that's an example of new types of customers that we're going to go and market to. And we'll come back to our landowners and say, hey, look, you can make $100 a night for them to park a camper out in the corner of your property and stare at the sky. It's a pretty good idea, but if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Get it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Well, that's one over and over again that, as you mentioned, that, the internet has made so many interesting things possible, right? 20 years ago, this business really wasn't possible.
No.
Maybe 30 years ago is a better time horizon now. But, we have these opportunities to do things that are fairly low contact, fairly easy, have a high degree of control, and can provide extra income. And to me, that's a very interesting combination of things.
Do you know somebody that's wrestling with serious medical issues and all the expenses that go with it? If so, go to hiscavvyfoundation.com, Cavvy spelled CAVVY, apply or nominate them for assistance from the foundation, where we help people in the ranching business get through those things together.
And you could turn it on overnight. It's a digital business that you could turn on overnight. Look, we partner with a lot of farm bureaus in different states, and I love the YF&R program. This is the next generation. I say that LandTrust can do, our highest earning landowner last year did $85K. It's almost pure profit. But $5, $10, $15, $20,000, very achievable, depending on what your land has to offer. But that's a digital business that can be run from your phone once it's set up, and you could turn it on tomorrow at no cost, right? So you can get in the marketplace instantly. And then, if you have a kid who wants to come back home and you need to bring a business to support yourself, it's one of those things that you can turn it on tomorrow and start to build that thing with no cost to get into it.
Yeah. And again, the degree of control is high enough that, for example, with each booking, I have the potential to say yes or no, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. This is not like a hotel where I could just book your place. Everything is a request, and you can say yes or no for whatever reasons you want.
So our daughter's getting married tomorrow. I don't want to have your van parked out on the corner.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't need that today. Can we, not today.
Yep.
Spectacular. Okay. One of the things that we are working on together through Taylor's pushing and through some of the other customers we both work with is putting together a webinar in September that will kind of go through experience there, landowner experience there. And so if people are interested in that, I would encourage you to stay in touch with us. Most of our customers, for example, are on our mailing list. If you're not already, get on there. You've got a mailing list also. We'll keep people abreast of that as far as when the specifics become available. What are other questions that landowners often have? And again, we're going to address those specifically with landowners in September, but what are the things that you see that people wonder about?
Number one is always liability. It's forever and always will always be liability. Like I said, we handle liability from a few different directions. First and foremost, in 34 of the top ag producing states, the states are limiting liability from agritourism. Everything we're talking about could be horseback riding, hunting, fishing, whatever. It's all ag tourism if it's on ag ground. The states are saying, hey, unless there's gross negligence on your behalf, we're going to limit liability there. Then you get to us. Any customer who would ever reach out to you has already accepted our terms of service, which holds you harmless as a landowner. Then we do ID verification. They pay with credit card. You get to rate them after the trip. They get to rate you, just like an Airbnb or VRBO.
This is a strong point. So if somebody comes and leaves a big mess at somebody else's,
leave them a rating.
Way to know about it, right? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I don't know many landowners that'll let a 3-star guest on their property. And so we do $1 million general liability policy that covers all of our landowners. We do property protection. And then we partner with farm bureaus in a lot of states. A lot of farm bureaus have insurance and they'll have, agritourism riders that you can get out on for a couple $100 a year. So there's, again, is it perfect? Can anyone sue anybody for anything at any time? Absolutely. But like I said, if you've had anyone who's not your direct family member on your place recently, you're more exposed liability-wise than you would be through LandTrust.
Yeah. And again, you guys are partnered with the landowner, so you guys are on the same team. The idea
That's right.
It takes both sides in order to create an experience for the customer.
Yeah, and in 6 years, 0 incidents, liability-wise, insurance-wise. Really? So thank God, knock on wood. Yeah, so 0. I mean, eventually, I'm sure it's bound to happen, but thank God, nothing to date.
Right. Cool. Where do people find you?
Website, so landtrust.com, landtrust.com.
And important, you are not the LandTrust, correct? You are just LandTrust.
It's a brand. I didn't even know conservation easements existed before I started this company, so the important thing is we're a for-profit, and that's a brand. That's why I was able to get it, because they're all .orgs, because they're nonprofits. Right. So I got .com. And, for our landowners, we know you're busy. We're a bunch of real people. So you can call us or text us and just talk to real people, not chatbots. But you can call us at 406-709-8450. If you got some windshield time or whatever, or you're in the tractor, you're doing whatever, you can give us a call. We'll talk to you. Or landtrust.com, there's a landowners section /landowners. And we've got testimonial videos of other landowners, FAQs, all the stuff you'd want to know. But reach out to us. Like, we talk to landowners all day, every day.
Yeah, very good. I have yet to see a ranch where recreation is the profit center that drives the whole business. But we've seen lots of cases where the amount of money you're talking about is, hey, that's our cow payment for the year, or that's a tractor payment, or that's
property taxes.
Property tax, yeah. So, $15,000 a year for lots of us may not sound like a lot, but it's better than a stick in the eye. And like you say, it often goes straight to the bottom line. There are no additional overheads, direct costs, affiliate associated.
Yeah, there's no real cost of goods sold. That's right. Yeah, it's effectively pure profit.
Right. And again, anytime we can add $15,000 to the bottom line, we're probably going to take that for the amount of work required. So awesome.
All right. Yeah, I would say our goal is to be the highest dollar per hour of any of the businesses you have. That's our goal. Are we always going to achieve it? We're going to work our off to do it. But that's how I want people to think about it, is like, we want to be the highest dollar per hour enterprise that you do.
Yeah. And my guess is you're probably by an order of magnitude in many cases, right? So
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good. All right. What else do we need to know before we sign off here? This has been great. I really appreciate you coming to join us.
Yeah, no, look, I think we found each other organically. Same with our Rancher for Profit guys. I kept talking to our landowners, and it turns out that the types of landowners that work with you are the types of the mindset that work with us. And so that's how we found each other.
Yeah, this is one I'd like you to explain a little more. You did mention this in our other podcast together, which is the idea that you generally are working with a fairly progressive audience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I joke, but it's not joking, that, if we talk to a landowner and they say, oh, this ain't how granddad did it, like, we're not going to work together. Not in 10 years, we'll work together because you're a laggard. So by definition, you're a laggard. I'll see you in 10 years.
You're going to be late. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be late to the party. No, our landowners they already say, like, this is a business. How do we get better at it? They're already looking at, holistic management. they're the RFP people. They're the, Gabe Brown, dirt to soil. Like they're that mindset. They're understanding ag, those guys. So we just have a lot of overlap with them. So they are more progressive, not politically, but just in the mindset towards business.
Right. These are not Bernie Sanders supporters.
No.
Being more profitable. Yeah, good. Okay, that's awesome. And again, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I want to make sure we clarify. Are you region-based? The company's based in Montana, but you are operating all over the country. Is that right?
We're in 44 states today. So we're a nationwide company. We actually launched in Chihuahua, Mexico. We have a landowner down there. Actually, LDS, we were talking in one of our other podcasts. So yeah, we've got a ranch down there. So we are technically in Mexico and the U.S. But yeah, we're in 44 states. We're nationwide. We'll be in multiple countries. So yeah, and everywhere where there's land that you have access to that you own, you can allow access to other people. We are operating.
And I think we have shared customers in the Northeast, in the Southeast, all through the West, all through the Great Plains. Right. Yeah, all over the country. So cool. All right, Nic, really appreciate you joining us. Looking forward to getting together with you in September to talk through this partner experience, landowner experience, and looking forward to seeing you guys kind of grow this thing and have it be more and more effective. So appreciate the work you're doing and keep it up.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Ranchnomics podcast. We hope this episode helped you win today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with a friend.